And here we are, the final match, the final game between myself and our opponent Ro in the finals of the Heavy Hitters Clash Bash season. If you guys wanted to check out any of the videos that are in the Clash Bash for this Heavy Hitter season, you can always go ahead and go to our FaB Clash Hub, which is down in the description down below. Or if you just wanted to see my own games and my own commentary of my own games, I do have them listed here. You should be able to find a playlist somewhere here on the channel, or maybe I put it up here as a graphic. Who knows? Sometimes it's weird, but I want to make sure that you guys are able to check out all those other games that are available for this, kind of get yourself hyped for Clash and get ourselves hyped for this final match against my wonderful opponent Ro as we move into Game 3, the final game of the Heavy Hitters Clash Bash season. All right, now my opponent is still on Azalea. Since I had won, I now switched my hero over to my secondary hero, Crimson Haze. Now, if anybody knows anything, it's that ninjas going into Azalea sucks. It's different if this was Riptide or Lexi or something of the sort, but definitely into Azalea, not super great. Red in the Ledger is a problem for me. But overall, the other thing is that while I do run a lot of 3 blocks in here, I'm not running as many D-reacts as I would like. And we may see that being an issue later. We look at our opponent's equipment, and it looks like they are running the Honing Hood now instead of the Ragamuffin's hat. Same stuff with Deep Blue and Bullseye Bracers and Snapdragon Scalers. And I'm running a little sweet myself, being able to block for 2, 1 Battle Warden, 1 Blade Break with that mask. And then I have additional resources I can get with Fest of the First Fist. So in this situation, I'm just looking to coast a wonderful turn 0, right? Trying to get some damage off, try to do some things. Now my opponent not blocking is very interesting here because it looks like they really just want to keep their hand. Maybe they just wait for this, power up attack right here, but we get to go ahead and just strip some cards from their hand. We got First Blood, so we're not too worried about that. And now we're going to go ahead and just try to keep as much as we can. This is just a 5 power. We get to go ahead and get that knock out of their hand, which is really good because that means we don't have to worry about Red in the Ledger. And then I just get to arsenal a red Soulbead Strike. And now, when we're coming into this, we're expecting our opponent to have really powerful dominated arrows. I do have a Flick Flack in hand, which is really, really good. But Flick Flack only really shines super well when you are expecting 2 attacks. In this situation, I am expecting a little bit more. But they come in with a Ravenous Rabble. This is actually the perfect opportunity for me to Flick Flack, because I get to block 4 in this situation. And then if they attack me again, my combo cards have additional defense value. This is a 14 Sedation Shot. In this situation, I'm looking to block with as much as possible. So I go ahead, I block with 8, and I want to continue on my turn doing a simple Kadachi Soulbead Strike is what I want to do. But they do have a Frailty on me, so I can't really do anything. I didn't quite see the Frailty lace that came on it. That is totally on me for not paying attention. I would have blocked the whole thing, I think, if I was able to at that point. But unfortunately, I did not have the ability to do it, and I did get hit with all 3 of the poxes, all 3 of the ailments. And that is very unfortunate for myself because I just didn't see it, right? They had a Lace with Blood Rot, a Read the Glide Path, and a Lace with Frailty on a Sedation Shot. So we got hit with literally everything. The only thing I can do in this situation is just come in for 3. I could have theoretically came in with a Kadachi for 0 and then a Soulbreed Strike for 4. That would have been significantly better. But luckily I do get a Kadachi for 1 off in this situation due to Ira's ability. And then I just get to come in for 0. No reason for it, but I'm just looking to play around with stuff. and then I get to go ahead and deal with all this. So I take 2 damage because I don't have any enough to pitch, and then all the other ailments go away. I wanted to use my whole hand because I didn't want to keep anything. Inertia does rip all that out of there, so it is important for me to not worry about that. Now in this situation, we have a pretty good hand. We've got a Flick Flack and we've got an Oasis Respite, which means that in reality we can block 8 and we gain a life because we are at less life than Azalea. This of course has to be very worth it for me. Push the tip and Lace with Frailties. So this is Dominate. It's got a aim counter on it, so it can't be prevented. This is unfortunate for me because Oasis Respite prevents, and I don't have the ability to prevent. So I'm just going to try my best to block as much as possible here and take a little bit more damage. Now they're at 15 and I'm at 7, and I get hit with Frailty again. Not what I want. I don't want that. So in this situation, I'm trying to figure out what is it that I really want to do. Do I end up coming in with something crazy? Do I keep this Oasis Respite? I know I'm going to be able to come in with a Kadachi for 1. They don't really care though, because it's just damage to them. And I get to go ahead and I'm just going to arsenal this Oasis Respite because I'd rather have defense than not. And it turns out they're getting very, very big pump turns. And I certainly can't do anything against all these pump turns. So we're running out. We don't have a whole lot in regards to the Flick Flacks anymore. We do have the blue Flick Flack, but it only blocks for 2. And we have an Oasis Respite. Now, of course, the Murkmire Grapnel does kind of like ruin that for us. But they're going to Azalea off the top. Just completely. They get a Knock the Death Whistle. That is what is revealed there. So Knock the Death Whistle, it allows them to go and get something, but they're really not able to do too much there now. It is very unfortunate Azalea, but you do get to look for things like Red in the Ledger, which is what you want to do, right? You want to be able to have Red in the Ledger. Unfortunately, you're not in a situation where Red in the Ledger is going to work for you because you already used Azalea's ability and you blind Azalea into this. But it looks like the concept here is you pretty much just want to pump damage. If you can get your arrows upwards of like 11 plus damage on a regular basis, you don't need Dominate. There's no reason for it. You have tempo. You can just keep pumping that stuff. So they're going to go ahead and they're going to use Deep Blue. They're going to get 3 resources by putting a card to the bottom of their deck. They get to load a Frailty Shot. They're going to give it a Push the Point and a wonderful Inertia, Lace with Inertia. Again, this is an 11 Withering Shot. So no Dominate. So not the end of the world there. But it does mean that I unfortunately I wouldn't be able to do anything with my Kadachis. In this specific situation, I'm determining whether or not it is more important that I have a Flick Flack in Arsenal or something of the sort, or if I even play Oasis Respite, because I want to be able to full block and get life. So they Snapdragon Scalers here, which is insane to me, but they do have Bullseye Bracers, which is very unfortunate for myself. And now I'm trying to figure out, do I just take 2 and then block 4 on the next attack, getting full value on what I have, or do I just block out here? And that is what I do, is I go ahead and I just pitch for that. I block out 2 more here so I don't get a Frailty Trap, or a Frailty token. But they go ahead and they put the Red in the Ledger down for 6. I would have still hit Red in the Ledger anyway, but it doesn't matter. I didn't have a turn because I had to pitch everything. Now they just get to go ahead and Time Warp me in that situation. Now I get hit with or Time Walk, not Time Warp. I don't know what I'm talking about. And here we go. They've got no armor left. I've got nearly nothing, and I've just been blocking my whole turn. Here in this situation, there's 3. I can't do much against this. We've seen this against Dromai. This is very much so a trap. I only have 1 3-block in my hand, and it is a Flying Kick and a Flusterfist. So I have 2 3-blocks in my hand. So I put the Flusterfist down because I'm just like, we gotta block with as much as we can here. Unfortunately, though, I don't have the ability to swing with I don't have the ability to swing with my Kadachis because that Flying Kick does not have 0 cost, it has 2. So I go ahead and I just pitch here to a Surging Strike, which has +1, and then I'm going to be able to come in with a Kodachi, clearing it off there, kind of making that happen. So I could destroy Vest here, which doesn't make any sense for me to do because I, again, can't Kodachi, and I believe I run into the very silly mistake of doing this. Yeah, I do. And so I make this very, very crucial mistake of where I break Fest, and I'm not even able to use all the resources. So very silly on my end. No reason for me to do that. Don't do what I do. This is the finals, and I'm already screwing up. So now it's 4-2, but they kept a full grip. You know what this means, everybody. They're coming in with a lot. They have a Read the Glide Path, point the tip, a Lace with Inertia, and then a Infecting Shot. This comes in for 13. I can only block 11, and I die to Azalea. And just like that, congratulations to Row 2 for being the Clash Bash Heavy Hitter Season Champion. It was an amazing time going against them, and it was a really, really tight game. I think a lot of it is just trying to figure out go tall versus go wide. When I kind of came to the realization that they were doing Azalea and Rhinar, because we do get to see the deck list before we end up going against them, I had a very, very tough time, coming to the realization that I might have chosen the wrong heroes. The reason I chose Ira for this format is strictly because Ira does really well in Clash, or in Commoner, I should say. And because she does really well in Commoner, I expected her to be just as consistent in Clash. And she is. She is very consistent in Clash. And I know there are some decks that are probably way more tuned to be aggressive than this. But if I get Red in the Ledger on an Azalea, I die. There's just nothing I can do about it. And my deck doesn't block as efficiently. So at the end of the day, I think I really just need to worry about maybe fine-tuning the deck a little bit more, worrying a little bit more about the block 3s as opposed to worrying just about the flick-flacks, maybe adding in some Sync Belows and some Fate Foreseens as well into a matchup like that, because I do want to be able to block as much as possible. Frailty tokens are also super, super nasty against a deck that cares about attacking with Kodachis. So having that be there, it was very teched, right? And they played very well, and I was very, very happy to see the outcome there. And it was a very close game. I think either one of us could have taken it. If they got another, awful draw, right? If off the top was some dinky card that was not an arrow, it definitely would have been a different game, I would imagine. But unfortunately for me, I was not able to take it home. But second place in the very first Clash Bash league that we have set up here, I was very, very excited. So if you guys enjoyed the Clash Bash league and you want to sign up yourself, we do actually have the Discord down below. You can go ahead and join that Discord, and that is where you can find all of us. And you can sign up for next season, which is for Part the Mistveil. You can go ahead and sign up there and get your heroes all set up and be ready to go. And then, if you wanted to go ahead and watch more of the Heavy Hitters season of the Clash League, you can always go ahead and check that out over at the FaB Clash Hub. That is also located in the description down below, so feel free to go ahead and follow that. And you can see all the games that happen from every league from this point forward, as long as Nathan wants to do it. Or if you're just comfortable enjoying my own gameplay and my talks over the games themselves, feel free to go ahead and just watch the rest of my own games from this season here on the channel. It certainly means a lot. You can also give them a like, subscribe to the channel as well for more Clash Bash content and more Clash and Commoner goodness. I like to bring forward the budget formats and talk about how fun they are. It's very much so still that powerful flesh and blood, and it's got enough variety in it to where a lot of people just play the heroes they really enjoy, and that's the best part. We want people to have fun. That's what's most important to us. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know whether or not you are looking to get into the next Clash Bash, and maybe I'll see you guys on the Discord. And thank you again so much for our wonderful supporters of the channel. If you wanted to go ahead and become a channel member, you can go ahead and do that. We do have member-only videos for you guys, as well as wonderful emotes and loyalty badges that you guys can flex when I'm doing my live streams here on YouTube. So make sure to take advantage of that, but it's absolutely not necessary. You can always go ahead and just subscribe to the channel as well. That certainly means a lot to me. So thank you all again, and I hope you continue having fun in the flesh and blood. And I will see you all during our next season for Part the Mistveil in the Clash Bash. Take care, and I'll see you then. Nerd out.